here from Pantheon Plus, and this is it. Back in December of last year, we said we want to go through all these classes. And there's 12 classes, and we did. This will be the third wrap-up video. 15 videos later, we started with absolutely horrible audio that hurts people's ears, and the complaints rolled in for insurance claims because of it. And now we're not so bad. We're not so bad. Sometimes we get compliments. So, yay. So for anyone who hasn't watched one of these wrap-up videos, it's me versus Haya. We're going to go through the classes one at a time. We are going to talk about one or two things we each like about that class. We are going to talk, would we main it and would we alt it? And then once we get done with all the classes, each one of us is going to rank where we put these classes. So sometimes we hurt the feelings of people out there that are dedicated to a singular class. So you guys can comment. And anyone who's watching the video, give us your readout. Give us your favorite things about classes and rank them for us. It's a fun little thing to do and have the community involved in it as well. So, Haya, how you feeling? You ready to go for this tonight? You ready to bring some passion?
I'm ready to agree with you on most things. I mean, battle you to the death.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that we really have the same attitude toward MMOs. Oh, well, what are you going to do? It just means we're right. No, I'm just kidding.
That's it. And everyone else is wrong about everything.
Yes. Okay, so let's go ahead. You want to go first or second?
You go first.
I go first. Okay, we're going to start with Wizard, everybody. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to jump into a couple things that I like about Wizards. So the couple things that I like about Wizards right now is I do really enjoy the fact that they have the spell weaving capability. I like that each spell class is specific to a need. So fire being DPS, ice being a control, and arcane being a mana gain. I like that. It introduces interesting things, and then that ties into their ability to focus, which is where as you're casting one of the schools and continue to cast that school, it ends up giving you a stacking effect that in a sense makes it stronger in some sort of way. That would probably be my favorite things about the Wizard. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I noted. I think, and obviously I'll just be cheesy and generic and say it's nice that they can teleport. So those are the two things I really like about the Wizards. I like their base play style, and I like that focus and spell weaving. As far as would I main it, a real possibility that I would main it. So I would. It's
really.
Yeah, it is. It is a real possibility. I mean, I mained a wizard in EQ.
Yeah, this is true.
And I played a mage at the end of Legion, and really got into that as an arcane mage. So it wouldn't be something new for me. Now the funny part is with it, would you alt it? Would you main it? You would assume that if you'd main something, you would alt it. I don't see myself maining a DPS and alting a DPS. So that's up in the air with the alt. I would consider maining a wizard. Let's put it that way. So what are your thoughts on wizard?
I actually was going to talk about the spell weaving. So I'll go one further and talk a bit more about like metagame, whereas it's the big bad explosive spell casting guy, and that's a cool thing. Playing this class makes you feel like an accomplished old dude with a beard and a staff, and you're gonna blow things up or freeze them or distort them with arcane energy. That's a really cool thing. Exactly. You're just yeah. Actually, what I had written down to further this point was big bada boom. So
big bada boom.
Would I main it? No. Would I alt it? I will absolutely alt a wizard because it's going to be my port person.
Ooh, so definitely no druid in your future then. Oh man, do we both hate on druids?
A little bit.
It's nice when you don't hate on the same class I hate on, because then someone could be like, screw Minus, that Haya guy, he's pretty cool. Now they just hate us. Okay, cool. Yep. So let's move on to Summoner. I'm gonna let you go first.
For me, the Summoner, I wasn't impressed very much by the Summoner. I thought it had some very cool concepts, mostly the two pets out. You have an Undying pet that's more or less always with you as your buddy. Unlock a second pet later on, from what I think we read.
I think what it is that the water pet can come out at the same time as other pets, but it's limited to how long it can stay out until later.
Yeah, when it's out full time.
Yeah.
That's really cool, and I like the synergies between pets, because the two pet caster hasn't been a thing that I've seen in other games, and having one pet healing the other pet and that pet bouncing off bouncing off each other and off of you, that's a really kind of a cool thing. And they can summon rafts.
Would you main it?
No.
Would you alt it?
No.
Man.
Not at all.
Okay. This we should put, instead of verse in the middle here, it should say Haya and minus hold hands.
Yep. Going together again.
I am not impressed at all with Summoner. I would, I'm going to give away my ranking already, but I would not just rank it at the bottom of DPS. I would rank it as the absolute bottom class of the game. So Druids, hey, that's a win. Yeah. I hate pet classes. Yes, I played one and enjoyed it greatly in Blade and Soul. Outside of that, I've never enjoyed a pet class. If I had to say some nice things about Summoner, I would say that I too do like the ability that you can have multiple pets out. And I definitely enjoy their utility because it is very class fantasy. So anything from summoning rafts to a wall of wood to a ladder. I do really like the summon creature thing because I just, like I said to you before, if I played one, I would probably cause so much trouble with that spell. And it's got to be fun. I mean, if you're ever having a drunk night where you're grouping up, I mean, you have to have
need
a summoner.
Yeah. Honorable mention goes out to the throwing items at them via dimensional portals. I like that too. So
smash them with a chair or something. Here's the thing. I was critical on the druid. I was a little bit critical on the shaman. I just don't like pet classes. I don't like pet classes from a leader perspective because the pet always causes problems. I don't like pets from a playstyle perspective because you take some of the skill set away of being a player and you put it into an NPC, which is most of the time auto-controlled. And I understand that there are different things you can do, and it looks like you have a little more control of your pets than normal, but in general, that's why I just do not like these classes. The other thing is my hipster side that everybody tells me because I like playing things that aren't played a lot. This class is going to be so overwhelmingly played by everyone who wants to solo, for everyone who wants to play by themselves. There are going to be so many summoners. I know that we don't see that on our poll results, but I have a feeling that you're going to have a ton. This is the new hunter. And I won't knock the summoner that hard in saying this is the new hunter because this game's gonna be harder to play, so it's not gonna be brain dead level like Hunter was at times. It will be more difficult to play for sure. But yeah, this is the new hunter for me. So no, I wouldn't alt it. No, I wouldn't main it. No, I won't. This is the class I won't have one even made. So bookmark this, summoner fans. If I ever make one and I send it on Twitter, playing a summoner is awesome. You need to show me this video.
Clip it, send it to them. Yep.
Yeah, this is the way you get back at me. Okay, so let's go into Ranger. I'll go first for Ranger. I like momentum. I like that you're building up this resource that you can use just built up for a buff, and then you can unload it for some damage or abilities. It's an interesting mechanic that makes Ranger a little more meticulous to play. And I would say that I also really enjoy the ability Warning Shot. Really cool ability. I've never seen that in a game ever. And thinking about raid leading or camping and being afraid of a pat coming in and being able to put that Warning Shot down on the ground and get an alert in case you can't see around a corner, for example. Imagine that you're in a doorway and you're fighting against the wall and there's a pat that comes through. You could put that down the hall and then you hear that audible sound. Okay, that pat's coming. We need to move. I absolutely think that is one of the coolest abilities I've ever seen. So in that sense, I'd say that's pretty cool. Would I main it? No. Would I alt it? No.
Really? No love? The Ranger thing that I like the most was they forage these items and they create tonics and bombs. That's a really neat thing. It's kind of like the Rogue's Hour, not the same. They're usually beneficial buffs for the range, but I like that because it gives foraging another aspect that makes it appealing, and it's not just like sit here and maybe you get some food and maybe some water. And
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Very rarely you get a super rare, awesome quest item drop that you have to sit there and hit forage for 9 hours doing. Let's hope it's not for that. But I like what it does. I also really like Warning Shot. I was going to talk about that too, but you covered it. Would I main it? No. Would I alt it? Yeah, I would play around with this for sure.
Do you like just to add a little more conversation here? Do you like the in and out style? Is that something that you actually enjoy, or do you find sort of
you mean in and out style like melee, then backing off to do some plinking with arrows? Not so much. I like doing one or the other. Momentum doesn't do anything for me from it. Like it'll be a great buff to have, but it doesn't scratch an itch for me. I still have the PTSD shakes from momentum and WoW from the Demon Hunter.
Yeah, and it's a lot different. Let's make sure that.
Yeah, it's not the same.
But it's so funny you said that because I was about to say the Demon Hunter momentum style was in and out. Now, this will be different that you're not just out to go back in. You go out, you can play out, and then you can play in. So it's
stay out and use your ranged abilities, get them on cooldown, and come back in.
I'm sure again from a raid leader perspective or a group leader perspective that it's going to be really nice to have the ability in a certain fight to go pure range or go pure melee. Even if you may lose a little bit of damage, it may make the fight easier. So there's definitely some things about this class that's pretty cool. I'm not, just because I wouldn't main it or alt it doesn't mean I'm putting it in summoner or druid level. So
it's its own tier. It's the crap tier.
Yeah, the 2 pet classes. Pet healer. It sucks. I played one of those too, and it was called a summoner. So I've actually played a summoner in multiple games.
I love summoners.
All right, so I will be first for this one. Let's go into rogue.
Okay.
So I'm going to be super generic. I love sneak, and I know it's been in every game ever, but I'm playing EQ2 right now. And similar to how when I played Vanguard for a while, I was playing Warrior. I'm like, oh yeah, I like this. In EQ2, the game on the server we're playing with Nathan's Guild is harder. It's EQ2 as it's supposed to be, not EQ2 as is now. So you're not really going to do well against multi groups. You have to be very careful when you're fighting anything that's heroic level. And being able to sneak around and scout while we did in camps. In a game that's harder. So in WoW, I didn't care about it because there was never.
It wasn't effective. It didn't do anything.
It was more of a combat thing, like a combat starter. I never found the need in WoW to be super scared of the environment. Back to being scared of the environment, which I think we're going to feel in Pantheon. If we have to do corpse runs, and I can sneak, that's massive. That's a whole mechanic that people are worried about that I won't be worried about. I also am really into Poisoncraft. I went on a rant about this. I really, really hope Poisoncraft and the alchemaic abilities are going to be something of major consequence for a rogue. So would I main it? Yes. Would I alt it? Yes.
If you're not maining it, that is.
What are your thoughts on rogue?
Yeah, I agree. It's the rogue is one of those classes that it's in everything. It's always there. It's the archetype is proven and effective, and everyone knows it. The alchemy iteration in this game, what we've seen of it, is one of the coolest, if not the coolest, I've ever seen as far as a rogue goes. Being able to smoke bomb yourself and all this stuff is great. Other things the rogue has in this is like the rope to help your group mates climb ledges and sneaking ahead and helping them bypass an entire area of a dungeon. A+, love it. I wouldn't main it, and I would alt it just to play around. I don't think I would do anything really effective with it.
Well, it's tough. We all know you're number one, and it's too close in a sense to your number
exactly.
One. Not really, but you know what I mean. Like you're not gonna have.
Yeah, if I'm gonna play a melee that does that kind of a thing, I'm gonna play.
Yep. Okay, so we go into our last one here, which is the monk. So you're first. People can actually see you smile when we talk about monk this week. so
the monk is the coolest idea for a class in any kind of role-play environment you could have. You fight with your hands and feet and face and chest and all of it. You're just this brute, and you gotta do damage while not taking and dodging some attacks, and maybe if you're lucky, you get to drink some. What's not to like? With this monk, though, I really do like the gates system with the chakra building, and you get to unlock abilities the more you're in combat and the better you are at the. Because other monks in other games, they didn't have such thing.
Very original.
Would I mean it? Absolutely. Would I alt it? Absolutely.
He'll have two. You know, funny story. When we started playing, WoW, right, building up the Legion, you had a gnome,
Yes,
quick and fast, monk. That was the first character you ever made. And for anyone who's played a gnome in WoW, and you're fighting big boss fights or big enemies, you know, you kind of lose yourself, and it's difficult. So this guy, instead of looking into like a race change, just decides to start another monk, and he's literally playing two monks for a little bit. And I thought that was pretty funny. So you could. I
think the second monk's name was Drunky.
Yeah, before he became my
master.
So, because then Quick and Fast became a human named Aya. So.
Yes.
Okay, Monk. Do you have anything else? So you're talking gates in just the overall theme is what does it for you. And
yeah, the feigned death aspect, being not as good as, but still also a scout for your group is a fantastic thing. We've both seen that in our EQ2 journey so far.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled.
So I do like the fact that it's the only class that'll be able to fight hand to hand and possibly effectively. I always thought that was really cool. We talked a little bit about that in the video with wondering how the stat effects are going to take place when you don't have a weapon that's a stat stick in a sense, and if it will be viable. Also, sort of what you talked about, the Fiend Death is just a massive mechanic that is. It's just so helpful. It's very similar to like a rogue being able to stealth, which a rogue can do it more commonly, but a rogue can't get away when they're found, and a monk can. So that's a pretty cool mechanic. And I really like the fact that you have 2 self heals. So while you're gonna off tank, you may not be the most durable person being hit, like a warrior or a paladin or Dire Lord, yeah. But you will have the ability to sort of do a little bit of self-healing in dangerous situations, which could really push a group through a hard fight, if a cleric goes down or a healer goes down. So I do like the self-healing capability, Fiend Death, and the hand-to-hand combat. I don't want to, I'm not trying to be hard on monks here, but would I main one? No. Would I alt one? No. And I'm going to be very specific as to why. I didn't play a monk in WoW because you were a really good monk in WoW, and I don't want to compete with you over monk. You focus in on a class and you play it and you master it. I jump around and I do very well, I think, for the most part, at learning classes and adapting and that kind of stuff. But I know that if I get super competitive, it's even pretty tough for me to beat you. So I don't want to play the class you're playing. I also don't want you to tell me how to play, because I have an ego, and
just have me reading over your shoulder like, hey, you should use this.
You're really not doing that. Yeah. No, but jokingly, you've always played the monk, so I don't see myself jumping into that realm. You got that covered. So for me, that's another reason I wouldn't play one, but pretty cool class. Okay. So we now are going to rank them and give final commentary. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
No, I'll give my ranking first.
Okay, good.
From worst to best. Least favorite to favorite.
Oh, you're gonna go down to up? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go bottom to top.
Okay.
Summoner is in my dead last spot. My reasons, I think, are pretty clear. I've never been much of a caster player, let alone a pet caster player, which leads me to my before last spot would be. I like wizards. I think they're cool to see. I'd have no interest in playing one ever.
It is strange that you don't really ever
I would just use it, like I said, as a port bitch. Like, that's what I'm going to make some money with, porting people around. Hope.
Yeah.
Then I have Rogue, because it's the most alike to the monk that I'm going to play. And then the Ranger, and then the monk.
Okay.
I like Rangers. I've always liked that kind of archetype where they're a woodsman, kind of everyman, jack of all trades fighter that can cast some spells and... But number one spot, the monk, always, and everyone should agree with me.
All right, so Summoner is definitely my number 5. We've heard why. I won't ever play one. Number 4 was it was actually pretty tough to come up with a number 4. This is where the classes were more aligned for me a little bit. Summoner was a very distant last place that I would never play, and then the other ones sort of gave me a little bit of trouble placing in some aspect, specifically Monk and Ranger. So I ended up putting Ranger at number 4. I'm not into the in and out combat. It's neat, and I will love having someone else doing it. I'm just not into the in and out combat at all for a Ranger, and I've never really been into the Ranger class. I if this sounds funny to you, I like bow classes. I would like there to be a strict archer. I would prefer an archer over this mix. So yeah, that's my number 4. Number 3 would be Monk. Again, because of the reasons I just stated, and you playing one, it's a good class. I can't knock the class for being a good class. I just won't play it. Number 2 would be Wizard. I definitely enjoy the Wizard. I like the porting ability. I like I said, I've played Wizard-like classes pretty in almost every MMO. I like the spell weaving. I like that you're using all of the spell schools. You're not just mastered to one. Overall, I like that. But number 1 by far is going to be Rogue for me. And I'll tell you that my time playing EQ here is very much so influencing me to go Rogue as a main for a couple reasons. One, I know right now I'm really set on Warrior. I used to be set on Bard. Because of PantheonPlus and really wanting to continue to put content out and time in, I know that I'm not going to be on 24/7 like I always was in WoW. And being a tank, you need to be available. Plus, there's just with the supporter community, everybody who's pledged and Toxic, the whole supporter community is like, we're playing all those classes in roles that we're always short on. We're going to have a million healers. Everyone wants to play support. Tanking is still a little lower. But so I do think there's still going to be a lot of tanks around. So it's weird. I feel like, if anything, wow, like being a DPS will actually be a help.
It's going to be a boon.
At least with the current crowd, right? And we're going to, in talking about sort of the polls and how what I like to call the supporters, all the people who are pledging, the supporters are voting very highly for those roles. But I think once you get the flood of everybody else coming in as the game gets into beta and the news just starts ramping up and you start seeing it at shows, I think that you're going to have a huge influx of normalizing those numbers. But with a lot of the people that we've met and we probably are going to play with, it looks like we're going to have a lot of healers and tanks and support. So it's leading me to say, hey, I can be a rogue. It's not super consequential. If I can't make a run or I have to do something for PantheonPlus, I can easily not be there and no one will care. And when I am there, I can be really effective. So as of right now, this is number 2 changing of my main. How many will we get to? Of many to come. So right now, I do think I'm in a main rogue. And that does also create a very difficult decision for me in race creation. I'm sticking very much in this thought process of I want to... I was joking with somebody today, the branding of like Minus and PantheonPlus and marketing. I want to make a character that looks like me so I could like take the image and like put it into like something. And somebody replied, "You're you every day." I'm like,
this is your escape. Yeah.
And you know, it's tough because there's a lot of classes. I like halflings. I think would be pretty cool. I dogged on gnomes being them, but they're really cool. Like, they're so cool. And then humans, so I gotta figure out. But luckily I have time. So
yeah.
So Summoner fans out there, let us have it, I guess, because we just buried them. Bring it. Druid fans, don't hate me as much, because now it's Summoner's way below Druid. At least Druid has some use. So
shots fired.
I'm just kidding, Summoner fans. Okay, so guys, if you haven't already, if you enjoy our content and you want to be a part, please subscribe to our channel. We're actually almost at 600 people, which is, I know a lot of streamers out there like 600, that's nothing. But like for us, I mean, we started as 2 idiots trying to get a video together. And here we are, we're building the brand. And honestly, all you guys that have subscribed have been huge helps in telling us what we're doing wrong. So we've been correcting with that. And if you haven't checked out Pantheon.Plus, check us out there. Create an account where I have the community is growing slowly there. And we're going to be doing some community events coming up. But now with this wrapped up, we're done talking classes until we get some kind of major updates. So what Bard, that means Necro. Is... Yeah, Bard, Necro, yeah. Once what that basically means is now we're going to be doing opinion videos. So this is where we start to really fire people up. This is going to be pretty fun. We did a small video about how hard the game's going to be, and it's Reddit had some fun with that one. So I will give you all a teaser that next week we will be putting out a video of about PvP, where Haya and myself will be adamantly against it and not caring about it being in this game. And because we're so the same in our opinions, that would not be a fun video for people to watch who like PvP. So we have enlisted Def from Battle Axe and Nathan Napalm to come and support the PvP side. They're both PvP fans. So we're going to shake hands at the beginning, and then we're going to let loose because I got to be honest, I hate PvP. And I don't be surprised if when somebody says something, I just immediately go, that's bullshit. So
no holds barred, guys.
And again, we're all friends. We're all going to shake hands and someday have a drink together. But we're going to go hard at this topic because it is a passionate topic in the community. So PvP or no PvP next week. Looking forward to that greatly. Hiya, anything for anybody before we end this?
No, we've covered it all for me. Look forward to seeing you all next video.
Awesome. And like I said, join into that community. Pretty soon we're going to be taking fan questions that we'll start addressing in some of the videos and start doing some mailbox stuff. So there'll be a lot more information coming out. That's an awesome Haya idea. I'm going to give him credit for that. So pretty soon we'll be answering that stuff and calling out some of the people who watch our videos or are part of the community and talking through some of those questions. So everybody, awesome. That's it for classes. Now it's all opinions and yelling and screaming at each other. Woohoo! Take it easy, guys. Thanks, Haya.